welcome to Barian Babes Being the Know. I'm your host, Vali Chikun. Before we get started, I want to remind you on Thursday, February 24th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be sharing my testimony and you guys, you have an opportunity to ask me anything. So be sure to tune in. Without further ado, let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're sitting down. Before I get started, be sure you're sitting down. I don't want you to have an accident or to fall down. But we begin. Russell Moore. Russell Moore is a former president of the ERLC, which is also an SBC entity. He's no longer with the SBC. He left the SBC altogether. He's a Presbyterian now. He had David Brooks on his show. David Brooks is a New York reporter and he's also a professor at Yale University. David Brooks is the one who pretty much crowned Russell Moore and the gang, Russell Moore, Tabidi, Anyambria, Rakray, Christina Dumens, Karen Swalprayo, Tim Keller, and others as dissenters. He calls them dissenters because these are the elites. I don't know what you want to call it. They are the ones who are trying to save the evangelical, okay? They're trying to save the evangelical. But Russell Moore was explaining that he has one of his friends who happens to be an elder was telling him, like, there's a church that has grown. And Russell Moore said, like, let me guess as to the reason why this church has grown. Apparently, this church used to sit between 150 and 200. Now the church is sitting 1,000 people. According to Russell Moore, the reason why that church has grown, it's because the elders of that church, he didn't mention the name of the church, were promoting the COVID hoax about the mask mandate, about the vaccine. So people left their churches to go and join this church. He called it as a crazy church growth method. So if you are the one who left your church because it was shut down, you join a church that remained open, you do fall in this category according to Russell Moore. You pretty much enacted the crazy growth church method. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is this. There are churches up to date in 2022 that are still closed, okay? And while some of these churches were closed, the sheep were left scattered. So they looked around and found one or two churches that were open in the area. So they joined those churches. And I see no reason why you can blame them. They wanted to fellowship, so they joined. We already know the churches in Canada that stood strong. They never shut down. They even went underground at some point, and their pastors spent some time in prison, and their churches have grown. 2 services, they've increased in their numbers. And when they ask these people who've come there, it's because their churches up to now are still closed, and they've decided to be with like-minded people who they know, come hell, high water, their church is going to open to proclaim the good news of the kingdom. The church has got no business to be taking orders from the government. There is a place where they can overlap, but they cannot dictate the affairs of a church, especially when it comes to worship. We take our orders from one king, King Jesus. So I don't know the issue that Russell Moore has it, but that's the story. Moving on, we do have Priscilla Shire. Priscilla Shire is one of the influential women. She also preaches to men, by the way. She took a selfie with Carl Lindsay. Carl Lindsay is the one who used to preach. He was a pastor with Hillsong. He's famously known as Justin Bieber's pastor. He was fired from Hillsong because he had an affair. All this is a matter of public information. So Priscilla Shire took a picture with him. Priscilla Shire's husband was also there, and the caption was like family, pretty much called Carl Lindsay family. Now, do I believe that it's sinful to take a picture with Carl Lindsay? No, I don't think so. But is it wise to take a picture with him, especially somebody like Priscilla Shire? I personally don't think it was a wise decision to make. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. Would you take a picture with Carl Lindsay, with everything that we know about him? I'm interested to know, so leave me your comments. It's going to be interesting. But moving on, in Canada, we do have a reporter. She's a reporter with Rebel News. Her name is Alexa Lavoie. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She was pretty much reporting during the Freedom Convoy in Canada, and one of the police officers ended up shooting her with a live riot gun. She's still alive. It's a riot control gun, but she is a reporter, so I don't know how this police officer ended up doing this. But the chief of the police of Ottawa was asked about this during a press conference, and the chief of police did not know that one of his officers had shot a reporter. So this is the things that are going on in Canada, especially now we having Trudeau, the tyrant Trudeau, Prime Minister. So be in prayer for our brothers and sisters up in the north, up in Canada. Lastly, we do have David Platt. David Platt is the senior pastor of MacLean Bible Church in Virginia. He's in court right now, so he has just lost. This is the second time. His lawyers were advocating that the judge should dismiss the case, everything should go away, but the judge has refused. They said that the members of McLean Bible Church, they do have a case. So the case is going to go forward. It's going to go the whole 9 years trial. They're going to have the jury. And yes, the books are going to be opened. I'm sure if you are David Platt, that's the last thing you want to do. And hey, man, McLean Bible Church, it is an SBC church, so they don't like opening their books. We already know about that. So apparently, they violated McLean Bible Church's constitution. That's why they're in court right now. They are supposed to have, members have a right to a secret ballot, and they conducted the secret ballot. But when the results came, David Platt and some of the elders were not happy because they wanted to install their own elders. So that's how this thing ended up to go to court. And there were some other things also that David Platt ended up changing the constitution, which as a pastor, according to whatever they have, you're not supposed to do, that you cannot do. So we're going to be here to make sure you guys are informed with everything that's going on with the McLean Bible Church. And one of the other things that the members are supposed to know, according to their constitution, they're supposed to know how much money their pastor makes. I have no problem, like, our pastors, they are with their wages, right? The labor is with their wages. But with a situation at McLean Bible Church, like David Platt, his speaking engagements fee, it's between $10,000 and $20,000. This is a matter of public record. So David Platt is famous of writing a book, Radical. So if you read Radical and then you see the stuff that's happening, something to do with the finances, you're going to pause. But everybody is assumed innocent until proven guilty. So right now, the case is in court, the trial is going to take place, and the jury of his peers are going to decide the case. So we'll be sure to keep you guys informed, so stay tuned. That's all I had for you guys today. I hope you find this to be informative to you. Remember to tune in on Thursday at 7 p.m. Bring in your questions. I want to interact with you. That way you can get to know me a little bit better, and you also know what's going on in my channel and the things that are in the pipeline right now. I hope you guys enjoy your day, and be sure to share, subscribe, and remember to follow me on all social media platforms at Barion's Babes. Until next time, remember to be in the know.